Hey guys, it's Cathi. So today I'm going to be telling you how to deal with the infamous, most college advice I can ever give you. I'm telling you, it's important. So I'm going to be giving you advice on how to deal with some obnoxious college roommates. So if you're not in college, you're probably scared or excited or throwing up or nervous or whatever you're feeling about dealing with a roommate. So in case you don't notice, I live in a dorm room. I am my first year of college and I've had 2 roommates. And let me tell you, I've had pretty good experience with my roommates, so I really don't have any advice except for like a couple cliche advice to give you, but some of my friends have horrible roommates. I'm telling you, they're pretty bad. And I'm going to be telling you some advice on how to deal with really obnoxious roommates. So there are 5 advice I'm going to give you. First off, if you have a roommate that's very dirty, I am so sorry. When you're living in a dorm, you're living in a small space with you and some other person. Your beds are literally right next to each other, so you can see each other sleep, you can see each other breathe, you can hear them eat, you can hear them, I don't know, doing the naughty, who knows. If you're not a very OCD clean person, it is very easy to have a very dirty room. Like, I've walked into a couple rooms where there's hairballs going across the room, like one of those desert lands and the sand going against the field or little hay going across. It's literally that bad. If you have a very dirty roommate, I think the best thing for you to do is either clean it up yourself if it bothers you that much, or make an agreement between you and your roommate that makes a designated day be your cleaning day. Meaning, let's say you choose Friday as a cleaning day, you both can throw out the trash or clean the sink or sweep the floor if hairballs are such an issue, because I have long hair, so I'm guilty of having hairballs all over the floor, but I do pick up after myself. If your roommate is not cooperative, I suggest you go to your RA, because in clean rooms it equals roaches, and I have a very funny story to tell you about roaches. This hasn't happened to me, but one of my friends have told me the story and I thought it was too funny for me not to share. So basically, she walks into her dorm and the lights are off. So she turns on the lights and she sees a dead cockroach in the middle of the floor. According to her, her roommate eats in the room. Like, throws, where, her food trash goes in the trash. But according to my friend, she doesn't throw away the trash, and the trash was there for a week. I don't know why they didn't throw it away. Don't ask me. So she walks in, the dead roach was in the middle of the floor. So she saw it and she thought to herself, I am not picking this up. So she left it on the floor and she went to go take a nap. So when she wakes up, she was kind of like not awake but not fully asleep either. So she kind of knew what was going on. So she saw her roommate walking through the door, saw the cockroach, moved it across the room with her feet, and went back to her bed. So I thought that was so gross, how she just moved it in the corner and didn't even take notice of the dead cockroach. So my friend was furious. Like, she was so mad that when her roommate left, she went, picked up the cockroach, and put it in her roommate's bed. She put it in her roommate's bed. That is so gross, but that's the ultimate sense of revenge. So I don't know when this happened. My friend is like a sophomore, junior, so this happened to her a couple years ago. But that's so gross. Oh my god. Do not do that to your roommate. If you have a problem, tell her the problem. Maybe it'll get resolved. If not, go to your RA. Second thing, if your roommate has attitude, that can be a huge issue because you're sharing a living space for 8 months. And when you live with someone, you're going to be bickering. So, of course, it's okay to bicker about something. I've bickered with my roommate about stupid things, but we always solved it. But if you can't solve any problems between you and your roommate, and she or he is always giving you attitude, I think the best way to deal with that, and my advice, is probably either talk about it or go to your RA, because it can get to some serious troubles if you guys are not getting along. If anything, your RA would suggest you moving rooms or try to solve the problems doing therapy or, talking to RA. The best advice I tell you is just leave the room, because let me tell you, 8 months goes by really slow if you're miserable. It'll go really fast if you're having fun. Number 3 is how to deal with your roommate's habits. So when you have a roommate who has really bad habits, You know, some people have their tics. I personally have tics with people who chew really loudly, and that really bothers me for some reason. So I've had a friend who used to chew really loudly, and I told her that it was bothering me, and she was more aware of it, even though it's not fair for me to ask because that's a habit. It was to the point that like I couldn't concentrate. I was just focusing on that. So now she's more careful around me. But you know, there's some roommates with habits that are like leave shoes in the middle of the floor, or leave their towels on the sink table, or leave stuff on your space. I don't know. If you don't like their habits, talk to your roommate. I think that's the best way you can get around it. Communication is really key when you're living with someone for 8 months, because you know, 8 months doesn't seem that long because of school, blah, 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 but you're so miserable or it's something's really bothering you, do not let it inside, because it will just build up and you will just explode on your roommate like it's crazy. I'm gonna tell you another story. I've had a friend who lived with somebody who was always talking loud on their phones, like screaming on the phone, like with their parents, with their boyfriends, with their friends, whoever it was, they were screaming. And when you're studying in your room, it's kind of not fair. So either you tell them to shut up, don't tell them to shut up. I think that's pretty bad. You just tell them, yo, it's bothering me. If they don't fix it, go to your RA or go to the library. Even though you shouldn't be the one who's moving, I think the most peaceful way of handling it is just, you know, talking or leaving to go to the library and study, because I wouldn't deal with someone yelling on the phone either. Another advice I'm going to be giving you is how to deal with boys. So yes, college and boys, or girls if you're a guy. That's a big thing in college, if you know what I mean. When it deals with guys coming into the room, it really depends on the individual, or you know, opposite gender, or your significant other. If you want to invite someone over, I think the best way to deal with it is asking your roommate first, because you know, you're living in the same space. It's technically their room as much as yours. So it would be polite for you to ask if they're sleeping over. You know, talk to your roommate, because I know some people is very uncomfortable. As what I was trying to say, if they want to sleep over, ask your roommate, because I get annoyed if someone doesn't ask me if someone's sleeping over. And it's not like I'm not okay with it, I'm definitely okay with it, but it's just kind of weird if I just walk into my dorm, into my room, and I see a guy on the bed and I'm just like, really? If you have a problem with guy issues, I suggest you talk to your roommate before moving in, because either that gives you enough time to find a new roommate if you really have a problem with that, or talk it out or find a solution. Get to know your roommate before you move in. I think that's like the important thing to know, because if you don't get a sense of the person is, I'm sure there's gonna be some sort of problems. Like I know some universities give you like their phone numbers or emails before move-in date, so talk to your roommate to settle everything, as that goes into my next advice. Before you move in, I suggest you do get to know your roommate. What I mean, yeah, you're gonna say, hey, what's up? I'm excited to move in. Oh my God, sparkle, sparkle. But what me and my first roommate did, which was amazing, is that we talked about what time we usually wake up, what time we usually go to sleep. Do we like lights on or lights off? Can we have the TV on? Are you okay with this? Are you allergic to anything? How clean are you? Do you like to bring people over? Blah, 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 blah. If you settle all the things beforehand, you know what to expect when you're moving in, and you get the sense of how the person is. Like I know my first roommate was very OCD about cleaning, and I have OCD with cleaning too. So that worked great in our favor, and she told me she was not okay having lights on past 11, which I was totally fine because I'm a night owl. I can just sit in the dark or have my laptop on the opposite side so I can do my work and she'll be asleep. And yeah, it really helped when I was moving in my first year, and I think that'll help others to try to solve any of the fighting issues beforehand, because you know it's scary to move in with someone you don't know unless you know exactly who you're moving in with. But for me, I went random. So I think that would be like the best thing for you to do, is get to know your roommate before move-in date. So if you notice a problem beforehand, you can request a roommate change or settle with housing and whatever. And finally, I'm going to be talking about what if you do come across a problem. I've mentioned before a couple solutions, but You know, when you're moving in with somebody, it is kind of like a hit or miss. Either you get really along with this person and they're like your best friend forever and you move in for the rest of your time in college, or you can hate this person and you just want to move out and you want to go back home. When you're dealing with like wanting to go back home and stuff like that, I think really is to have someone you can lean your back on. I know college can be kind of hard to find your clique, but if you have that someone that you can like help you through this mess and you can't leave because of contract rules or whatever the reason is, like my best friend always told me, hey, if you're having a problem with your roommate, you can sleep in my house or you can sleep in my dorm and it'll be fine. If you have people like that, the 8 months will go by really fast, and I promise you, moving into a roommate is really fun. You get to meet some interesting people. You My suite mates are pretty rad. Like, we get along super well. And yeah, you never know. So, if you want any more advice, I am willing to make more videos because I have a lot of stories to tell. As well as, I'm thinking of making like a college series, like college advice, college stories, blah, 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 blah. Because I'm going to be in college for 3 more years, so I have a lot to tell. Thanks guys for watching. If you want to see more college advice videos, please subscribe to my channel. It's Cathi Kyrie Rose, and my Instagram is Cathi Kyrie Rose. My Twitter is Cathi K Official. My Tumblr is Mika Catmaster. So go ahead and follow me. I'll be posting updates. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!